So every year, my wife Courtney and I take our 2 kids to the beach. 5 to 7 nights, oceanfront room, unlimited food, drinks, and even those little paper umbrellas. Resort, covered. Margaritas, covered. Kids club, covered. And the wild part is we haven't paid for it in 2 years. All because of one amazing credit card that unlocked all-inclusive resort stays. And a smart system that I've built along the way that kind of helps us out with everything else. This year's trip would have cost over $7,500 if we paid cash, but instead we paid zero. Nothing, not a dime. And today, I'll show you exactly how we do it step by step. You're probably thinking, come on, Rich, what's the catch? Trust me, there isn't one. Just a strategy that anyone can use, even if you're not a points and miles expert. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. Now, I should clarify right off the bat, this isn't one of those we flew first class to the Maldives kind of flexes. You see, we've got 2 kids, and their idea of a luxury vacation is if the hotel has a pancake machine. So, a couple years ago, we stayed for the first time at the Ultra Cancun, an all-inclusive beachfront resort that honestly felt fancier than we ever expected. Lincoln, my youngest, he gave the kids club a 4 out of 10 because they didn't let him bring snacks into the pool party. And my wife, Courtney, she jokes that if I don't book that oceanfront balcony again next year, that I can just sleep on the beach. It was great. The kids made friends at the pool. You know, like I said, I had that little drinks with the tiny umbrellas in it, and my wife actually read an entire book cover to cover. It was that kind of trip. This resort's great. It has 6 different restaurants, 4 different pools. The staff somehow remembers your name after day 2. And if you've ever tried to impress a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and 2 tired parents at the same time, you know that's not easy. This place managed it for us. Every morning we had our fancy coffees in hand on the balcony, watching the sunrise if we actually were awake in time. And every evening we just walk along the beach, collecting seashells, watching the kids race ahead of us. I mean, I'm painting a picture here because these are the kind of moments you really can't put a price tag on. But ironically, I know that it would have cost us exactly right around $7,500. Now, we do this every winter now. This is the plan. When the kids are off from school, we're gonna go visit those same beaches. We're making similar memories. It's scheduled like clockwork. Same place, same system. And it all started with a single credit card sign-up bonus. Let's get into it. A few years ago, I got the Wyndham Rewards Earner Business Card, and it had a 2-tier welcome bonus. 50,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 90 days, plus another 25,000 points after spending $12,000 within the first year, so 12 months. That 75,000 point bonus was more than enough for our first stay at this all-inclusive resort. And now this card remains the absolute cornerstone of this strategy of ours. It's what makes the free resort stay possible in the first place. Now, if this sounds like a lot of spending, keep in mind, we're talking gas, utilities, insurance, business expenses. We weren't spending any more. We just moved the spending we were already doing onto the right card. Here's something most people miss. You're already spending this money. The average family drops $5,000 to $7,000 every few months on regular expenses. The trick is capturing that spend on the right card. When I realized that this card gives you 8 points per dollar on gas, 5 points per dollar on marketing, advertising, and utilities, I saw an opportunity. As a small business owner, these are expenses that I have anyway. All our gas purchases, cell phones, Wi-Fi, cable, even digital advertising for our businesses go on this card. And like I said, that first welcome offer alone was enough to book that first all-inclusive stay. Look, you can probably tell I love credit card points, but I'm no longer one of those people chasing a new sign-up bonus every single month. What we've built is a system with that Wyndham card as the foundation. So let me just tell you how it all fits together. I'll describe the system a little bit. The Wyndham card automatically gives us diamond status, which means room upgrades, late checkout, and a 15% discount on award stays. So the points we're talking about, they go even further. Last year, that status bumped us from a garden view to an oceanfront without paying a single extra point or dollar. Once we had this base working with one card, we naturally expanded our system. My wife Courtney got a Capital One Venture X business card for her business. Why, you might be asking? Well, because these points transfer similar to Wyndham, at least 1-to-1, sometimes even better during promotions. So now we're earning points from two different cards that can both fund our resort stays. And then we had to tackle the flight situation. For us, Southwest makes the most sense with kids. So each of us have a personal and business Southwest card. But the real magic happens when we earn the Southwest Companion Pass, which means both kids fly for free every time, just paying some minor fees. Think about it. 4 round-trip tickets to Cancun would normally cost, on average, around $2,200. But with the Southwest Companion Pass, we're paying for those tickets with points and getting a buy one, get one free deal on each booking. So our spending strategy is simple. 8x points on gas with the Wyndham card, 5x on business advertising, utilities, and then 2x on everything else with the Capital One card. And then, of course, there are times when we don't need any more points for that Wyndham stay that year, and that's when we would maybe put some spend on those Southwest cards, depending on what deals they're offering throughout the year. Yeah, you don't need a wallet full of cards. You just need a system that's going to work for you right where you're at in life. And once that system's in place, those points, they don't just start accumulating. You're not saving them forever. They actually start covering the moments that matter the most. And I know a lot of people out there, they think points, credit cards, miles, they're a gimmick. But the truth is, most people are just redeeming them wrong. They use points for cash back, getting maybe $500 here, $100 there. That's leaving serious money on the table. I used to do the same thing when I first started out until I realized that 50,000 points, yeah, it could be $500 as cash back, or it could be up to $1,500 for the right travel redemption. That's a 200% increase in value just by changing how you use the same points. We use them for high value redemptions, all-inclusive resorts where everything's covered, room, food, drinks, activities. The Ultra Cancun would have cost us at least $450 per night in cash. Flights through Southwest with the Companion Pass, that doubled our value. When one person flies for free, that 25,000 point flight becomes 2 people flying for the same amount of points. Oh, and the Capital One portal, it also gives us $300 per year in a travel credit. And that's not even points, that's just a straight credit for having the card. We typically use that for like a Jeep rental for a couple of days during our vacation. So that's how we turn points into value, true value, year after year. Yes, there are annual fees, but the math works out ridiculously in our favor when we take these kinds of trips. And watching the kids race down the beach, falling asleep in a cabana, these moments have a value beyond just dollars and cents. But the dollars and cents help make all of this possible. Actually, earlier this year, right here, I was talking with Ben Hedges, aka the Credit Chefu. Some of you might know him. And he asked me, he says, well, what would you think about that booking for the Ultra Cancun, you know, for families? And I told him for families, it's a sweet spot. It's affordable with points, but it still feels like a splurge. You know, and I think a guy like him, he was asking not only for travel with kids, but also how it works for business owners who might need to hop on a call occasionally. For those of you like me who take a few days to shift to off mode, you know, when you're getting on vacation, I gotta tell you, the Wi-Fi was great, the cell service was solid, and there were plenty of hammocks and cabanas to prop open your laptop if you absolutely had to get some work done before you could relax. So if you want to do this for your next vacation, here's exactly what I'd recommend. Check out the Wyndham Rewards Earner Business Card, then the Capital One Venture X Business. And I'll leave links down below in the description of this video. There's not an affiliate link, at least not one I could find, for that Wyndham card. There might be one for the Capital One card, so if you see it down there and use it, it helps out the channel, but I'm just trying to share exactly what we do. Oh, and don't worry if it says like business card and that's intimidating to you. You don't need some sort of like officially filed LLC or W-2 employees. I mean, if you sell on eBay, Etsy, freelance work, drive for Uber, even just like do some occasional online side hustle work, then that could count for business purposes for one of these cards. In fact, I wrote a free ebook that I'll leave down below in the description as well on how to earn that Southwest Companion Pass. I update that book every year. That one strategy alone has saved us thousands on flights over the years. It walks you through exactly how to apply for the cards, how to time your spending, which cards to get that like pair together. So again, feel free to check that out. So when I say I get $7,500 of free family travel because of one credit card, I mean it. That Wyndham card is the keystone. It's the linchpin that makes this free resort stay possible for us year after year. Everything else in our system, the companion passes for the flights, the transfer bonuses, they're just optimization strategies that help us maximize even more value towards a vacation like this. In fact, I've got a full playlist on credit card strategies, from how to pick your first, travel card, to redeeming points the smart way, to stacking bonuses, all without chasing debt. So if you're ready to stop leaving money on the table, then check out the links in the description, grab a copy of the ebook, and who knows, maybe I'll see you in Cancun.